You are listening to The Partisan by Patrick Worrall. Narrated by Ben Allen. Master recording, copyright and recording, Penguin Audio 2022.
In loving memory. Vytautas Giniotis, 1960 to 2020. Jadwiga Kainienė, 1936 to 2021. My life I never held but as a pawn to wage against thy enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive. King Lear, Act 1, Scene 1. Prologue. The quality of the light was the first thing that struck her when she went to Madrid in the spring of 1960. The afternoon shadows were the deepest and darkest she had ever seen. Like all old men, the doctor was a creature of habit. He always shopped for groceries on Saturday afternoons. She tailed him to a place near Atocha station that sold international food. He bought black bread, beer, and slices of cured sausage that resembled Westphalian salami. He stopped to ask the shopkeeper's 6-year-old about his schoolwork, bending down with some effort and talking to the boy with unfeigned interest. He had always been good with children. The young ones in the camp had trusted him and called him Uncle Eric. When he turned for home, she headed back the way they had both come. He walked with difficulty these days, and she had some minutes to get into position. The apartment next to his was unoccupied, and she had burgled it the day before with the tip of a long, thin stiletto, leaving the front door unlocked so that, when the time came, she could walk through the empty rooms and out onto the terrace at the back. The removal men had left deep scratches in the wooden parquet floor and cigarette ends scattered across the brown concrete of the balcony. Now it was late afternoon, and shadow covered half of the concrete. The woman stood in the corner, in a pool of darkness so black it was blue, watching the balconies and windows on the other side of the narrow street. She knew the idea that everyone in Spain took to their beds for an afternoon siesta was a myth, at least in this part of the country. But a pleasing stillness hung over the street, and there were few signs of life. She scanned up and down, then slipped over the low wall that separated the balconies. The doctor always left his back door unlocked. She walked through the galley kitchen on stockinged feet. When she sensed, rather than heard, movement in the next room, her hand flew to the inside pocket of her thin cotton jacket. A tortoiseshell cat padded across the living room and butted its head against her shin as she stood in the kitchen doorway. The doctor's bedroom was on the opposite side of the living room. She waited just inside the door, watching through a crack as the old man entered the apartment. She saw immediately that reports of his chronic ill health were true. He held onto the wall to steady himself as he shuffled through to the kitchen, and it seemed to take him an age to unpack the groceries and stow them away. She could hear him clucking at the cat. When the doctor came back into the living room, he was breathing heavily. He was facing the bedroom door that hid her. She pushed it open, and the cat trotted across and nuzzled her ankles again. Eric Urban studied the intruder's face and said, "Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania. Except that it is broad daylight. I see you have already met Kaiser, the shameless traitor." "I think he likes my stockings. He's making static electricity." It has been a long time since he had a woman to rub up against. I could say the same about myself. With your permission, I am going to walk very slowly to my favorite armchair over here and sit down. So, I always knew this day would come. I did not know they would send you, O Queen of Cats. You are getting quite the reputation, you know. He winked at her. I trust that you have only heard good things, Herr Doctor. He smiled at this, then followed the cat's progress across the living room rug. The smile weakened, and he said in very soft German, "What will become of you, my boy?" The woman moved to within a few paces of the doctor's chair. Her feet were planted wide apart as she reached inside her jacket. "Is there a form of words?" the old man asked. "I had heard there was a form of words. Otherwise you could be a common housebreaker." She took a breath. I have been authorized to carry out an executive order issued by the President of the State of Israel. Do you understand why I have come to you? That's very good, the doctor said, as if speaking to himself. Then he realized he had failed to answer her question and said quickly, Yes, of course. I understand everything. It will sound strange to you, but I have been looking forward to this for a long time. Is there anything you want to say? I have tablets. What? I obtained tablets. I did not have the courage to use them, God forgive me. They are in the top drawer over there. I will not move a muscle. Will you permit me to take them? It will be easier for both of us. The woman found a white paper bag in the drawer containing a cardboard box with a bottle inside. She tossed it to him and watched him fiddle with box and bottle. His movements were so clumsy that she thought he was playing for time, but then she remembered he was supposed to be recovering from a stroke. At last he tapped the tablets onto the palm of his hand. There was a bottle of clear spirits on the side table next to his chair, with the glass he had drunk from the night before. He poured 3 fingers into the tumbler and took a small sip, followed by a proper mouthful. Then he froze. The hand that held the tablets was trembling. He looked at the woman pleadingly. She nodded emphatically and said, It's time. Do it now. It helped. He swallowed the first pill. Nothing happened, and he took another, gasping from the fire of the alcohol in his throat. He took the rest hungrily. The 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. She feared some kind of trick. But when he spoke, there was nothing left in his mouth. Do you see them when you close your eyes at night? He asked, sinking into the chair and letting his head flop back. The others, the ones before me. Sometimes. Mine come to me every night. When I lie down and shut my eyes, there they all are, waiting. Just like in life. They always waited so patiently. There were so many. But I remember all the faces. His speech was beginning to slur. His breath was a rasp that filled the room. The glass thudded onto the rug. What do they say to you? She reached forward and took his wrist in her hand, feeling the slowing pulse.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?